What is up, everybody? It is Mr. Me. I'm updating you on what I've been doing ever since I said I was upgrading my hard drives. Because you haven't heard from me since. Hooray! Actually, you haven't heard from me since my Calamity Ganon live stream, which that actually got me my most consecutive live viewers ever. 6. Yay! I'm so good! But anyway, thanks for, that many people joining that. That was really awesome. Thanks for 7 likes on my Mod Nation Racers live stream. Even though, like, 2 people... Well, one including myself, 2 people watched the stream. Since I had that window open while I was actually streaming. Anyway. The actual maintenance of upgrading the hard drives was probably... Excuse me. Sorry about that. The upgrading of the hard drives probably took no more than a few days, because I was being lazy. I did like half of it because there are so many damn wires in this thing. It's only a mid tower. I wish I had a full tower. But... oh my god, I did like half of it. I got all the stuff out. I had to take almost everything out of there just so I could get the second hard drive in there, since I now have 2 internal hard drives running on, well, actually they're not running on, both running on SATA 3. The new internal hard drive is running on SATA 3 at 6 gigabytes per second read, or at least that's the maximum sequential read for SATA 3. In the old one, which used to hold my Windows installation, the 1TB Western Digital Red 5400 RPM hard drive, which I probably bought for way too much, but that's beyond the point. That now holds my Steam library, and on top of it... Wait, what did I have my Steam library on? Oh wait, yeah, that's right. I don't know why I thought I had another hard drive before, that was weird. So that now holds my Steam library. My external hard drive had an adware file on it, so I had to erase that. I had to completely wipe the drive. That probably wasn't necessary, but Norton Power Eraser wasn't very helpful in solving the problem, so I had to erase that. Well, make a Linux flash drive so I didn't fuck up my Windows installation 3 times, as I screwed it up at least once or twice. After I installed it on the SSD. 120... Give me a second here. 120 gigabyte, there we go, SSD from SanDisk. It's on SATA 3, so it has, up to 6 gigabytes per second sequential read. Or at least that's, the thing for SATA 3, but, whatever. So that's hooked up with that. On top of it, like I said, I had to make a Linux flash drive, so I could not screw up my Windows installation while erasing my external hard drive and getting files off of it. As you know, all I really used that hard drive for was to store the videos and all of my media files, such as my pictures and my pictures and my music. And my porn, yes, okay, no, not really. Don't take that out of context. So, yeah, I had to erase that, don't worry, all of that, all the videos are fine. I moved them to my other hard drive. I still don't know where they're gonna lie permanently, because, I think it was the other day, actually. Wow, that's actually a pretty broad answer the other day. So, oh lord. I decided to actually try recording Rocket League at my normal settings. 1080p, 60 FPS, 50 megabytes a second, temp files and recording files. Don't store temp files on an SSD. Don't store recording files on an SSD. As anybody with an SSD should know that. So you don't do that, obviously. So I put the temp files on my external hard drive, and I set GeForce Experience to write the recordings to my new internal hard drive, which spins faster than my external hard drive and my regular, my other internal hard drive. Which, you know, ironically, my external hard drive spins 300 RPM faster than my Steam library hard drive, the Western Digital Red, which is only 5400 RPM. That's really weird. But here's me thinking, oh, it should be perfectly fine. I should have no problems whatsoever. I'm recording to a hard drive that spins around, you know, that makes 7,200 rotations per minute on average. Or at least it should. I don't know if that's average. Or maybe that's constant. I should probably look that up before I start talking about it. But I thought, okay, I'll have no problems whatsoever with this. Oh boy, was I wrong. And I don't know why. So, as per usual, when I play the game, and after I hit Alt F9 to start the recording, oh, everything looks fine in the game. So, I play for a little bit, you know, I'm just playing in free play with my Endo. It looks fine. So I stop the recording, I watch it in the folder that I told it to output to. It's choppy as hell. In fact, it's hard. Sometimes I can hardly tell if it's 60 FPS or 30 or even 20. It's so choppy. But I looked at the codec and it apparently is that recorded at 60 FPS, which I think that's total BS, considering how it looked. But I thought, oh, okay, okay, I know why this is happening. It's perfect. There's a perfectly logical solution for this. It's running. Rocket League is running in borderless mode. So I checked it, and oh, it's running in full screen, like usual. So why is this happening? So I changed the I swapped the locations of the temp and recording files. So the recordings were being saved to the external hard drive, and the temp were being stored to the Western Digital. No, it's not even Western Digital. It's a Seagate Barracuda, 7,200 RPM hard drive, 2 terabytes. Really cool. I love it. Maybe not. Possibly. I have no clue. So I set that to store the temp files instead, and the files were actually better this time, being written to an external hard drive running off of USB 2, even though it can run at super speed and not just full speed. Wow. That's pretty freaking crazy. That's crazy ridiculous. I don't get it. I don't get it. And you know, it still wasn't that great either, but it was... Excuse me. It wasn't that great, but it was better. I don't know why. I could not tell you why. I mean, it was still choppy, so I thought, okay, what if, and you're probably gonna kill me for saying this, but just as an idea, and since you could probably, as test, you know, in theory, you could constantly write 16 gigabytes of data to an SSD, you know, per hour for 2 years straight, and it not run out of write cycles. So I thought, okay, this SSD is pretty new. I've hardly used it yet. Well, really, a few times, but I mean, I've installed crap on it, but it's still relatively new. It's not like broken or anyway, and it has a lot of life in it, so putting a few writes on it isn't gonna hurt it. So I decided, okay, what if I put the temp files in the default temp folder in app data? It was actually slightly better than that. It was actually even better. Still choppy as hell. Man, okay, maybe not that choppy. I have the files somewhere, but I thought, okay, what if I set it, because used to be the way I did it before I wiped the computer was, you know, my Windows installation was on the Western Digital Red 1 terabyte hard drive, and so was my Steam library, and so was the temp folder location. That was where the temp files would go. And the recordings were perfectly fine. They were fine. Sure, as you probably noticed a handful of times, they had huge frame drops. That was like every 20 minutes or so. So I don't get it now. I honestly don't understand. I don't get it anymore. I even tried saving the temp files to the SSD and writing the recording to the desktop, you know, because I'm not going to lose it, and I'm not going to, you know, search for it in my videos folder. I just want to have it on the desktop. No, it wasn't better. It wasn't worse, but it wasn't better. But after a little bit more testing, I figured the best way for me to record this game, and granted this is total bullshit. I hate it. I hate every ounce of it right now. The best way for me to record this is to have the temp files saved to my internal 7200 RPM hard drive, which should not be the place where I save it, but you know, whatever. And the videos will go to the external hard drive. How fucking ironic is that? What am I gonna do with this hard drive now? What the hell am I gonna do with it? There's nothing I can do with this. I feel like it's worthless now. I thought I'll have the videos saved to that hard drive since it's faster, and it has a faster sequential read and sequential write. Way faster than USB 2. Oh, would you look at that? No, it's not gonna work. Because fuck my life. Fuck my computer. Fuck it. Fuck it all. On another note, oh wait, before I get to that other note, the best settings I can do with this are 1080p, 60 FPS. Oh, and I even tried 720p with 50 megabytes a second, and that didn't help at all. That's really crappy right there. So I figured the best way for me to do it is 1080p, 60 FPS at 30 megabytes a second. I looked at two different files. One was 50 and the other one was 30. 30, you could definitely see a difference in the quality. It is not as great, but I get a much better looking file. It looks smoother. It looks way smoother. So I really don't understand this. I don't get it. It's the exact same hardware setup, plus a few more things. I don't get it. I don't understand. Oh, well, Mr. May, it's because you use an AMD processor and an AMD motherboard. And you're using a Windows 7. You're supposed to be using Windows 10. Oh yeah, that's what I was gonna touch on. I thought, okay, I'll erase this hard drive, I'll erase everything. Oh look, guess what? I still can't install Windows 10 and have it run correctly. When it first installs, it goes to the desktop, okay, that's fine. I download the driver package, I don't install it yet, I restart the computer. Oh, guess what? The OS select doesn't want to work. Like, I can't move the mouse, I can't move the cursor, I can't move this, well, cursor, I mean selection. I can't move the selection away from Windows 10, you know, over to something different. And it either goes to a black screen, or it tells me, oh, CMOS date and time not set. Push F2 to run the setup, or F1 to continue. I think it's F1 to continue without setting it. But then it just goes to a black screen. I thought, okay, what if I just hook it up to another screen instead? So I unplugged this monitor, my, you know, awesome 27-inch monitor, and I plugged in my TV. Oh, it showed me my Windows accent color, but it did not show me anything else. I got no mouse cursor, no login screen, no anything. So Windows 10 was a bust and a waste of my time. It's probably an issue with the motherboard being incompatible, considering that when I was in that IT class, I had the exact same processor in there, but it could run Windows 10 just fine. Not the same graphics card, obviously, because you're supposed to do work, you're not supposed to play Steam games on it. So Probably a motherboard issue. Hooray! Yeah, and I still can't have arrow transparency when I boot the computer. I can't do any of that. I actually installed my capture device driver, so I can possibly still record console games, or stream them too. And you might ask me, well, okay, why don't you just use OBS to record PC? Here's the problem with that. As I said before, not here, but somewhere else, I said before, Vegas does not work with these files. It doesn't know the audio codec that OBS encodes in. So whenever I drag and drop them into Vegas, they only have a video track, no audio track is found. But when I play them in VLC, they play just fine. So if you're perfectly fine with these files being if you're perfectly fine with Rocket League being 30 megabytes a second with possible stutters pretty frequently, then that's fine. I'll do that. I won't be happy with it myself, but I'll do it. Because I want to be able to record for that 2nd anniversary update that's coming very early next month. And because I also want to extract new possible files for Champions Field. And maybe some of those new Monster Cat songs. However, that won't be able to be done if I'm just pissed off like this. I love this computer, but I hate it. It's a love-hate relationship. I can't explain it any more than that. I can't. And I've uploaded, you know, a few funny videos, like when you break the AI and how it feels to chew 5 gum and play comp. And I've uploaded a whole bunch of Rocket League sound effects, like the stingers for every map so far. And I forgot about the DFH Stadium announcer, so I did that. That's really all I've uploaded since. So, I have a whole bunch of things I want to do yet. But it's going to be hard if I can't compromise quality for smooth gameplay, which all my console videos aren't even. I think I record them at 10 megabytes a second, because Total Media Extreme does not do more than 13.5? Or maybe that's because of the capture device itself. I need a freaking new one of those things. But that's not the point. I need a new capture device. But I think the max quality that program can record at is 13.5 megabytes a second. But I stick with 10 because I think 10 looks perfectly fine. So on that note, I am just going to... I'm gonna leave this here. This is way too long. I really didn't want this to be that long, but guess what? I like to ramble, and that's why I have no views whatsoever on anything. That's why Rocket League highlights don't do very good. Nah, it's probably because they just don't get enough exposure because I'm a small channel, and BS. So, that is what's been going on. Nothing really that good. Except, you know, I'm really good at Rocket League still. That's debatable. That's debatable. But I think I'm okay. I'm way better. If you watch the very first Rocket League video I did, and I really don't want you to, but if you do, if you go down to the playlist Rocket League highlight videos, Rocket League highlights, and you click on it, and you watch the very first video called Torn Butthole Scored, you will see just how shit I was at that game at one point. So there you have it. So I hope this gives you an idea. Oh my god, excuse me again. I hope this gives you an idea of what's been going on that I've really just slacked off about I've really just slacked off about recording stuff. Because I've been too busy trying to grind for platinum because I'm not even platinum yet. And also because I've just been lazy as hell, so I hope this gives you an idea, and I thank you for possibly listening this far. So when I record another gameplay video, I will see you then. Goodbye. Goodbye.